Rocks and Minerals. Trackers of Dynamic Earth by Anna Maria Crum. Earthquakes, volcanoes, and coral reefs are the pursuits of three Earth scientists: seismologist David Carver, volcanologist Scott Rowland, paleoceanographer Sarah Gray. Chapter 1. David Carver. Most people are frightened when the ground shifts under them, but not David Carver. He likes to feel the earth move under his feet. That unusual attitude makes him perfect for his job as a seismologist. Carver became interested in geology as a Boy Scout during a trip to the Black Hills. His interest continued through college at the University of South Dakota, where he majored in geology. After graduation, he found a job with the National Earthquake Information Center, NEIC, which is in Golden, Colorado. Located near the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, the NEIC is part of a global network. Seismograph stations around the world record earthquakes, helping governments respond quickly to emergencies. Within minutes of an earthquake, seismologists at the center can determine its strength and the location of the epicenter. Carver's first job at the center was to take care of the seismograph machines. These are instruments that detect movements of the ground and record them as graphs on long rolls of paper. Carver's job was to put the paper on the seismograph and watch the machines. Through on-the-job training, Carver learned how to read the graphs. His next step in learning to be a seismologist was fieldwork, actually going to the site of an earthquake. Carver at the site of an earthquake. Carver put rolls of paper on this type of seismograph. Checkpoint. Read more about it. For more information on earthquakes, visit http://earthquake.usgs.gov/learn/kids. Shake, rattle, and roll. Hundreds of earthquakes occur every day. About 2 each month are powerful enough to cause damage. An earthquake is usually caused by sudden movement between two tectonic plates. Volcanoes can also cause quakes. A few earthquakes are triggered by human activity associated with industry. After the first movement of an earthquake is detected, Carver rushes to the site to record the aftershocks. Aftershocks are weaker vibrations that follow the main earthquake. Aftershocks are the strongest and most frequent immediately following an earthquake, but they can continue for months. Going into earthquake-damaged buildings and homes can be dangerous work. Carver is careful to place his sensors in safe areas, such as a garage where he can bolt them to the cement floor. The sensors are linked together to record and track the movement of the aftershocks. Field sensor with cover. Field sensor with cover off. Shock waves, or waves of energy produced by an earthquake, travel at different speeds through different types of rock and soil. Carver chooses places for the sensors that will record these differences. Each sensor records movement along 3 different dimensions: a north-south line, an east-west line, and up and down. The case that contains the sensor is bolted to a solid foundation on the ground. When the ground moves, the case moves with it, but the sensor inside stays stable. The movement causes the sensor to generate an electrical signal, which is then recorded. On the move. In 1978, Carver went to Greece to install sensors after an earthquake. Only one building had collapsed, but people were living in tents out of fear of more damage. Carver says, "Being in an earthquake changes your view of the earth. You count on the stability of the earth until one hits you." For the people in Greece, that stability was gone. In 1994, Carver and a team of seismologists arrived at the site of the earthquake that struck Northridge, California, near Los Angeles. When they arrived, the scene looked like something out of a disaster movie. "We arrived at night," Carver recalls. "There were no lights in the city, no cars on the freeway. Even more startling, the National Guard, carrying guns, met them at the airport. The soldiers were there to keep people safe and assist in rescue operations." During an aftershock, Carver watched the tops of the palm trees lining the street move up and down as the shock wave came toward him. Extensive highway damage was caused by the Northridge earthquake. In 1999, an earthquake struck Kocaeli, Turkey, along the North Anatolian Fault. This fault is very similar to the San Andreas Fault in California. Carver and a team went to help. The quake had struck in the heart of an industrial area where many people lived. More than 250,000 people were left homeless, and 17,127 people were killed. Most of the deaths and damage occurred because the buildings were not well constructed. Along the North Anatolian Fault and the San Andreas Fault, plates sliding past each other sometimes get stuck. Earthquakes like the one in Kocaeli occur when the pressure builds to such a degree that it forces the plates to move suddenly and violently.